Ask the Messenger's TV show is a TV show that educates, informs, and entertains our viewers on public health issues such as mental illness, suicide, addiction, illness and disease, COVID-19 relief, crime, domestic violence, homelessness, human trafficking, employment opportunities, healthcare, and more. And now, Ask the Messengers.
Today on Ask the Messengers, we bring you our coverage from the second annual Azal Benne-Lockett Foundation Prayer Breakfast, featuring interviews from the founder, Dr. Portia Lockett, prominent community leaders, and others from the Benne-Lockett family. Also in this episode, you will hear from retired Third Circuit Court Judge Timothy Kinney talking about the Detroit for Life program, Project Clean Slate, that is available to the City of Detroit residents. Also, have you heard about the Neighborhood Beautification Program? We have information about this program that is also available to City of Detroit residents. Plus, in honor of this month's National Recovery Month, we bring you Gary's story, a musician who shares how he once used drugs during his career but found a new way to live drug-free. Ask the Messengers begins now.
We're at the ABL Foundation's second annual prayer breakfast. Azal Benne-Lockett, dealing with grief, resources to help your family. If it's relationship, it's not just a foundation, it's not just an organization, it is a movement.
What is this movement? Did you imagine this movement getting to this place? You know, when God spoke to me shortly after my son was murdered, he says, I'm going to get the glory out of this. And that keeps playing in my head over and over. God is going to get the glory out of this. And that is exactly what he's doing. He said, you're going to start a foundation and it's going to be entitled ABL. Because God is able to do exceedingly above anything we could ever hope for or ask for in our lives, no matter what it is. God is going to supersede whatever the ask is going to be. So our sole mission is to be able to help individuals who are grieving, help them heal, offer them hope, and hold their hearts as they're going through any type of grief, not just the loss of a loved one, but it could be the loss of mobility, loss of sight, being diagnosed with a chronic illness, losing your loved one, losing a job, losing your business, not being able to socialize. So there's so many different levels of people losing.
Tell our viewers kind of like your relationship to the ABL Foundation.
Absolutely. So we are big supporters of Dr. Lockett. She is on our organization's faith-based committee. So Dr. Lockett has been key in providing support to us when we plan our conferences and we do things in the community with the faith-based organizations. And we wanted to support her in her foundation. There's a lot of people out there struggling with grief. And as a mental health organization, we want to make sure that we're supporting her as well.
Well, I just think it's a needed service. You know, we all need prayer, and a lot of people go through different things and handle matters a little different. Mm-hmm. So, you know, prayer is always the perfect thing, is always the answer for me. You know, when I'm going through something, you know, I used to depend on my mom all the time, and she passed 3 or 4 years ago. But I know she always got me in her prayers, and just, you know, it's a struggle out here when you're trying to figure it out. You know, so many different things happen. So when you think you got to figure out, something else come up. But prayer is always the answer. And I just think this is a great event. A lot of people be grieving, lost children to gun violence, sudden death. People did not expect it. But I just think this is a great event and a great prayer breakfast. I'm happy to be here.
Well, I am a proud board member of the ABL Foundation, and it really is an honor to serve in this capacity. This foundation is doing wonderful things to support our community. And given that we came about just to celebrate the life and the legacy of Azal Benne-Lockett, it just holds a special place in my heart.
I not only have this amazing woman, Dr. Portia Lockett, and I have to correct myself, okay? I also have an amazing presence as well. This is Dexter Sullivan, okay? I know this man. His spirit, his presence as well is just a light, and you can see God shining through it. Why are you here, Dexter?
I'm here because of this lady right here. Have y'all seen this room? The room is crazy. I was in there a minute ago. I'm like, how do you get this many amazing people in one space? It's because of a special gift like this. Dr. Portia Lockett is a gem. She's a treasure. There's nobody like her. So if you want to make it happen, you need to connect with her for real.
Sure, absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is Deanna Solomon. I'm a director at the Detroit Area Agency on Aging, and we're supportive of Dr. Lockett and the work that she's doing in the community, caring for not only individuals and families. She's been to our office and spoken to our team about self-care, and we really applaud the work that she's doing in the community. So we're here as a sponsor today.
Tell me a little bit about that program.
Imagine it's a nonprofit organization designed to increase self-esteem in young people. So we run our program in about 14 schools. We work with elementary, middle, and high school, and we also have a women's empowerment component.
We are at the second annual ABL Foundation Prayer Breakfast, and it is honestly a pleasure and an honor to present this woman here, Miss Karen. I've known her since I was younger.
Yes.
She always has her hand in making a change and making a difference. Tell me a little bit about today. What does it mean to you?
Today means so much to the family of the Lockett family and the entire community. The Azal Benne-Lockett Foundation is a calling that God put on Dr. Portia Lockett's heart when he unfortunately and suddenly was taken away from us. And God took Portia's ashes and has turned them into beauty as a result. And what the foundation does is we offer help, we hold hearts, and we are a giving organization. And so for those people that are going through the grief journey, the loss journey, we are here to assist you with the transition.
Now, what made you become a part of this movement? I can't even say it's just a foundation, it's a movement.
Well, it is a movement, but you asked the question, what made me become a member of the board? I was one of the founding board members. Portia and Walter have been friends of ours for more than 40 years. And I am the godfather of her sons. Azal spent his junior and senior year living with us and going to high school. So I operated as a surrogate father, and my wife, Beverly, as surrogate mother to Azal. And we watched him grow, and we believed he was going to thrive and plow some significant inroads in our society. And unfortunately, he was taken away from us at an early age. So Portia came up with this vision. And being so closely affiliated with the family, you don't have a choice but to step in the breach and do the work. And I can tell you that I've thoroughly enjoyed the work that I've been doing, and I am so thankful for the philanthropic support that we've received from the community, because without the community, we wouldn't be where we are right now.
Azal Benne-Lockett was my little brother, my first brother ever. And yeah, that's my relationship right there. It's my heart.
That's your heart. So when all this happened, could you kind of envision that this whole thing would happen from that tragedy?
Not at all, but my mom is she's a love boss. She was the one that poured all the love into us. We love balls. And I could have put two and two together if I meditated on it or something, but in the moment, nah. She's always mind-blowing doing stuff like this, so.
Does it kind of give you a bit of hope, knowing that tragedy has helped so many people? Say a little bit about how you're feeling right now.
Amazing. It's just great to see, new lives being touched and changed month after month after month. It's great to go different places and just hear about how inspirational my mother or my brother is. And it's just a breath of fresh air every time I step out.
So for me, the prayer breakfast is just an opportunity for people from all backgrounds and cultures just to get together that experience the same thing, which is grief. And that's something that we all go through, something that is just a language that everybody speaks. So just to have that in the community, especially in Detroit, I feel like that's huge. But to me personally, just everything that I've been through, losing my older brother, this is just a great support system just to have family, friends, even the workers, the volunteers, even you guys out here doing what you do. So, this is just a great, loving, wholesome experience for me.
To learn more about the programs and resources available through the ABL Foundation to assist families during their grieving, visit their website www.azalbenne-lockett-foundation.org. The Neighborhood Beautification Program provides grants to Detroit-based block clubs, neighborhood associations, nonprofit, and faith-based organizations to carry out projects on up to 4 vacant lots in their community. For more information on applicant eligibility, visit their website www.detroitmi.gov/Detroit for Life.
Neighborhood beautification. That's very important to Detroit. It's very important to block clubs, organizations, and people who live in the community. We got started with 2 lots and a vision of a treehouse center. Because if we can take these blighted lots, Detroit give us grants to be able to do something with them that the community wants, it's a plus because we're bringing our neighborhoods back to where we want them to be, where they should be. All because I live in Detroit.
All you viewers at Ask the Messengers TV show, it is Project Clean Slate. The city of Detroit is doing amazing things, and I want you to tell our viewers who you are and your role in Project Clean Slate.
Certainly. My name is Timothy Kenny. I am recently retired, but at the time that Clean Slate started, and for 6 years after that, I was the chief judge in the Third Circuit Court and was involved as one of the resources in trying to assist in making expungements quicker and simpler and less expensive.
Now, it's interesting because a lot of people, they feel like the judicial system is really hard. It's a lot of red tape. What did you kind of have to go through to get where you are now? I mean, for this project to be where it is now?
Well, there were a number of hurdles to jump over.
Yeah.
And as a judge, all of us as judges are obliged to follow the law. And we may not like the law. We may think that the law this is too long a process. But that's not for us to change. That's for the legislature to change. And that's exactly what happened. And I think things moved exponentially when the legislature decided to make it easier for people to get expungements and for certain expungements to be automatic for people. And that, along with the fact that the city officials and Project Clean Slate's team and the court worked together in terms of streamlining how we can get these expungements through a whole lot quicker.
So it's all these intricate details, all these families' lives that you're changing. What's one of the most rewarding things that you've not just seen here, but that you've seen while you've been basically having your role in this project? You're activist in this, right?
Well, I think the best part is having the opportunity to receive some of the comments that those who have successfully completed the expungement process have shared with Project Clean Slate, and a number of those responses and comments have been passed on to me, and it's very rewarding. I mean, it's not something you get in a paycheck, Right. It's the fact that, you see that you have been a part of a huge team effort to improve not only the life of the person who's been successful in getting the expungement, but how that impacts in a positive way his whole family, and the sense of optimism that brings, and how it just gives people, I think, a new lease on life, because so many of these folks just feel like they're carrying this weight on their shoulders that will never go away.
So if you could give just quick advice with people that are apprehensive about the legal system and Project Clean Slate, what would you say to our viewers?
I would tell your viewers to run, don't walk, to make contact with Project Clean Slate to determine whether or not you are in fact eligible for expungement. If you are, they are the best resource in the state of Michigan to help you get your expungement and to help you open up the doors toward education and jobs and housing.
Yes.
And if it turns out you're not eligible at this particular time, well, then you'll get advice as to when you would be eligible, and you really haven't lost anything.
You're right. You're right. I'm going to take a little soundbite from what you said earlier. On the count of three, I want you to say with me, Project Clean Slate, a new lease on life. Are you ready?
Sure.
1, 2, 3. Project Clean Slate, a new lease on life.
In 1989, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, also known as SAMHSA, established September as National Recovery Month. National Recovery Month is about increasing awareness and breaking the stigmas associated with substance use and mental health issues. It's a time for celebrating, educating, and advocating for every person, every family, and every community. If you or someone you know is experiencing a mental health crisis or struggling with substance use, there is hope and help available. Simply call or text 988. This free, confidential service is available 24/7 to connect you with trained counselors who can provide compassionate care, support, and resources. Don't hesitate. Reach out today. You don't have to face this alone. Remember, recovery is possible. There's always someone ready to listen and help. It's just 3 digits away.
First of all, thank you so much for sharing yourself with us, and I'm glad to have you here. Can you just tell the audience who you are and give us a little walk of your entertainment journey?
Okay, my name is Gary Sims, and I was a drummer around the city of Detroit, and I created a lot of scenarios around the city, as far as playing music. I was a kid growing up in Holland Park.
Okay.
And I ran into a man, that was building a studio. His name was Major Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a very, very prominent man trying to get something going because he admired Berry Gordy. So he was trying to do the same thing. And he had a studio in Holland Park. So when he was building his studio, I asked him, could I help him, And I didn't know anything about music at the time, but, I used to sing in the Glee Club and junior high school and high school and stuff. So I end up, learning how to play drums because I always was fascinated with the drummers,
Mm-hmm.
And so I end up going in there and learning how to play, So I'm about 11, 12 years old. And, believe it or not, I was playing with one of his groups, which was called the Brown Bombers at the time.
Okay.
And actually, they're really called right now, they're called One Way.
What?
The group One Way.
Al Hudson man, what?
I did Al Hudson's first ever record.
Get out.
Back in the the late 60s. I was a kid when I did that record.
Wow.
It was his first record. He wasn't Al Hudson and One Way then.
Okay.
He was just Al Hudson.
How did you find yourself into addiction and fast track it? How'd you get out?
Okay, let me tell you. I was, playing around the city and I always smoked weed,
Okay.
And just at this particular time, in 1979, everybody was doing the little cocaine, sniffing the little cocaine. And so, I tried it, but first I didn't like it. So, I kind of like dibble-dabbled in it, but not really, So when I got to California, guys was doing like speedballing, and I started doing that for a little while just to, keep some money in my pocket. So once I started doing that, I got deeply involved in just getting high. So I'm on tour with the Jones Girls, and I'm on tour for like 3 months, and all I did was just get high. It was like a party, and that's where my addiction really took off. So once I got back here, because my parents, my mother died when I was, I think I was like 13, but my father died in 1979. And, I'm addicted, but I got to go on tour before, after my father died, So I had to come back here and go to my father's funeral and then play the show with the girls here the same day. I went to the funeral Saturday and had to play a show that night. And so after all of that happened, I kind of got, really strung out. But then after a while, after the tour was over, I came back to Detroit. And something told me, man, you're not going to make it a long time if you don't stop. And so I dibbled and dabbled, in and out of treatment centers just like D. And, I did the same thing, I kept trying until one day I just said, man, look, if you don't do this, man, you're going to die. And I had to believe in myself and take notes that everybody was saying that the only way you're going to get through this is, admit that you have a problem. And once I admitted that I had a problem, that's when the 12 steps kicked in.
Wow.
And I started learning how to, stay afloat.
Nice.
Yes.
Now I want you to do me a favor. I want you to look into that camera and I want you to give some hope to someone out there. There's entertainers out here now. It's a fad. It's cool to get high. And they really make it seem like it's the greatest thing. Now, you've been there, done that.
Right.
Talk to them entertainers, them young ones coming up.
Let me tell you something. When it comes to drugs and music, it doesn't mix. Because eventually it's going to destroy your life. I know. Because it destroyed mine. Not saying that everybody's not like me, but it will take over your life. God bless.
Well, that concludes this week's episode of Ask the Messengers. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you would like to help support our show, please feel free to make a donation of any kind by visiting our show website, www.askthemessengers.org. If you prefer to mail donations, please make check or money order payable to Ask the Messengers TV show and send it to 18400 Schaefer Highway, Detroit, Michigan, 48235. Ask the Messengers is the program that deals with things that help you. Thank you for watching.